o'clock. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our first regular council meeting for 2025. We'll begin with the invocation and the salute to the flag led by Mr. Wagner. Please rise.
Dear Lord, let us start by recognizing that it's already been a very impactful week. We've had the opportunity to reflect on Dr. Martin Luther King's teachings, and we've had a change of leadership for our nation. We ask that you allow us to take the teachings from Dr. King, and then help our new leaders, and give them the strength, the wisdom, and the guidance they need to lead our country. I'd like to take the time to recognize those that have helped our society on a daily basis, our first responders, our healthcare professionals, our educators. I know I'm missing one. Let us also take a moment and pray for the council that represents us today. Make sure that the decisions we make represent you and make you proud of us. Let us take a moment and pray for our mayor, the city staff, and our council. And let us provide a big thank you for all those members of our community that are here today, part of our governmental process. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And I forgot the military.
There you go. There you go. This meeting is called to order. Madam Clerk, roll call. Councilmember Golding. Here. Councilmember Horn.
Here.
Councilmember Jansen.
Here.
Councilmember Sutton.
Here.
Councilmember Wagner.
Here.
Councilmember Wouters.
Here.
Mayor Hoffman. Here, moving on to approval of minutes, item A.
I make a motion we approve the minutes from the regular city council meeting held on December 16th, 2024.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item B.
I make a motion to approve the minutes of the city council briefing held on January 13th, 2025.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Approval of the agenda.
I move to approve the agenda.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Council announcements. We'll start with Mr. Stefopoulos.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Just wanted to bring you up to speed on the actions that the City of Jacksonville Beach is taking in response to the winter storm warning that has been issued for all of Duval County and our surrounding areas. As you're aware, we have a lot of employees in the city who do not reside at the beaches. They reside further to the west, where some of those morning impacts will be with regards to the difficult driving conditions. As such, we will be delaying the opening of city facilities tomorrow from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. At 10 o'clock, City Hall will open along with our other facilities for normal runs of business for the remainder of the day. As an advisory to anyone who may be watching from home, the landfill for Duval County is officially closed tomorrow. There was a code red alert that went out earlier today advising everyone that the solid waste and trash pickups for the remainder of the week will be adjusted by 1 day. Wednesday is normally the landscape and yard waste pickup. That will move to Thursday. Thursday's normal pickup will move to Friday, and Friday's normal pickup will move to Saturday. And then going into next week, we should be on our regular schedule. But just an advisory to let you know, 10 o'clock tomorrow morning and a 1-day push on all the solid waste. Thank you.
Thank you. And the weather is supposed to be getting dicey starting at 7 p.m. today, so we will move with a purpose through this meeting. We will not skimp on the meeting, but we will move with a purpose. Ms. Olden.
Thank you, Mayor. Happy New Year to everyone. Hope everyone had a wonderful holiday. Just want to start out by thanking the mayor for participating in the State of the Beaches meeting that was held January 8th. It was a really good meeting with all three of the beaches mayors giving updates on the accomplishments in the past year and looking forward to what's going to be coming up in 2025. And if anybody wasn't able to attend that meeting or would like to see it, it was video recorded, and you can go to beacheswatch.com and you can see it. And it was really good. Thanks so much, Mayor. Also want to mention that I attended the MLK celebration along with fellow Councilmember Wagner and Mr. Wowers. And it was I've been going to the celebration that the Rodell Martin Center has been doing for several years, but this one I think had to be one of the most inspiring ones that I have ever attended. Bishop McKissick had such a powerful message and really inspired everyone to continue Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s legacy. And so I just want to give a special thanks to the Rodell Martin Cultural Heritage Center for putting on these events every year, and for all that they're doing to preserve our one and only African-American elementary school here at the beach. And then I also want to mention, don't want to steal your thunder, Amanda, but the Donna Marathon is coming up on Sunday, February 2nd. I'm signed up to run the half marathon and in support of the Donna Foundation. And if you're not familiar with it, the Donna Foundation provides financial assistance to breast cancer patients, so they don't have to make a decision between paying for treatment or paying for rent. And that's huge when someone's going through something as life-altering as that, to have to struggle with financial issues. So I just want to ask for somebody to please order good weather so that we don't have this kind of stuff to run in. And then one other thing I want to mention, that there will be a town hall with Jacksonville Mayor Donna Deegan on Wednesday, February 5th at 7 o'clock at the Beaches Branch Library. And this will be a great opportunity for the Beaches community, citizens, to come out and interface with our mayor, hear some of her priorities, but also hear updates on some of the topics that impact us here at the beach, such as the homeless issue or the garbage fees and how that is potentially impacting us here at the beach. So again, that's going to be Wednesday, February 5th at 7 o'clock at the Beaches Branch Library. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Golding. Mr. Wagner.
So if you guys will indulge me for a minute, in prep for the Martin Luther King event, I had the opportunity to kind of relearn something. I wanted to share it with this group because I think it's pretty neat. So in 1961, or 1941, I'm sorry, in 1961, Martin Luther King came to Jacksonville, and he provided a sermon at the Mount Ararat Missionary Baptist Church. And afterwards, he went to the Singletons' residence in Moncrief. And he had a conversation with the African American leadership there in attendance about the importance of getting involved in local politics and local government. And as a result of that conversation, and through a series of kind of failed attempts or false starts, what happened, or what ultimately happened successfully, was in 1967, Miss Singleton and Miss Mathis became the first two African-American female city council members for Jacksonville. And I just thought that was such a great, cool story and kind of appropriate for how we're spending the next hour or so. So I wanted to share that with everybody, and hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you. I did not know that. Good information. Mr. Horn.
Thank you very much. I want to say congratulations to Councilwoman Golding, if she's going to run the Donna, and any of the rest of you are willing to do that. Good luck to you. I'm willing to swim whatever distance that you deem necessary, but I will not be running. I'm a water person, not a land mammal, I'm a water mammal. Speaking of the water, I just wanted to say congratulations to the Jacksonville Board Riders Club. It's a group of surfers out of Jacksonville that were competing at the World Surf Challenge, the Club Challenge in Snapper Rocks in Australia. Very famous surf spot, and I want to say, our tiny little town that finished probably middle of the pack. I don't know the specifics, but regardless, the fact that they were there, they were competing for Jacksonville Beach is amazing. I think it was Evan, Tom, I'll have all the names. I think it was Evan and Tristan Thompson, Karina Petroni, and I think Dane Jeffries. But regardless, whoever was there with Jacksonville Board Riders Club, I'm super proud of them. I appreciate them carrying the Jacksonville Beach flag, the Sunrise Surf Shop flag,
and representing us all around the world and doing a great job of it because as a beach town, I love to see it. Thank you very much.
Very cool. Any other announcements from council? Moving on to courtesy of the floor, and we have one speaker card, and she's already somewhat been introduced. Amanda Napolitano, you've run a star of our Take Two Tuesday today. She can give a whole speech and answer FAQs while running. So can you do that while swimming? I don't know if there's really an equivalent, but you have 3 minutes to address the council. We'll give you however much time.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everybody. I'm Amanda Napolitano. I'm the Executive Director of the Donna Foundation, and I'm here tonight really to say thank you, only to say thank you. On behalf of our board, on behalf of our staff, and the 20,000 breast cancer patients and their families that we've served through the Donna Foundation over the years. We could not have the National Marathon to finish breast cancer if it were not for all of you, for the staff of the city, for your public safety teams, but most importantly for our community, our beaches neighbors, who come out every year and embrace this event with love and with lots of cowbells and a myriad of other things that I'm told. But truly, we have the best community on the planet, and I could not be more grateful to be a member of it, but also so grateful for what it does for the Donna Foundation and for the families that we serve. So thank you so much. We've already said it is Sunday, February the 2nd. There are no changes to the course from last year, so if you remember last year, no changes that way. If you'd like to know information in terms of what streets are impacted, the timeline, when should I be in my front yard ringing the cowbell, if you go to breastcancermarathon.com and look for spectator information, all of that information is there. Course maps, road closure details, all of the things. And registration is still open, but it looks like we're going to sell out. So if you're not registered, you need to get in there and get it done. Now there is a new event that we've added on Sunday. It is called the Pete's Bar Donna Crawl. It is only 2 miles, and you can start with the marathon and just roll into Pete's for the day. So there's an option.
I heard 2 blocks.
So I know I'm out of order, but I just wanted to thank you. The work you do is so amazing, and 13 years ago, my wife was diagnosed as HER2 positive, and by going to Mayo and Dr. Perez and all of the research support that your organization has provided, we celebrated 13 years a couple months ago, and look forward to celebrating many more. So just thank you from the bottom of my heart.
You're welcome, and Dr. Perez will be here. So she's the one with 2 cowbells, if you know her. Thank you all so much.
And Ms. Golding, you are not the only one participating in the race this year. I'm not going to tell you which leg I'm doing, but you might have heard about it recently. Oh yeah, both of my legs, but just one leg of the race. Thank you so much. We're looking forward to another big success, and I hope whoever's in charge of the weather takes care of that for you and all of the racers.
Not that.
And the spectators, yeah, does whatever this is. We don't need that. Okay. See no other cards, Madam Clerk? We good on cards? Okay, we'll move on to the consent agenda.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
Second. Do we do a roll call on this one? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Consent agenda is approved. If you are following along the agenda, that looks like a lot of stuff, but please know we have discussed these items at length in our council briefings and over the past couple of months, so these are not new to the council. Okay, moving on to city manager business, item A.
Gene Parsons, Chief of Police, Mayor and Council. I'm asking that you approve the second one-year extension of and the First Amendment to the Parking Services Agreement. The slide up on the screen is pretty self-explanatory, but I wanted to focus on the communication piece of this because it's just as important as probably, or more important than anything else we do with the residents whenever we roll something out like this. So there'll be an information packet that will be distributed to all residents in the expanded area. and how to sign up for the free residential parking. Flyers will be delivered to each address in the affected area. It'll be on social media, the website, and we are going to notify STVR owners also. We're waiting on 2 dates from the vendor to do an in-person residential parking exception sign-in, especially for Pablo Towers, is self-explanatory, based on IT needs and stuff like that. We're waiting on the dates now. Of course, we'll advertise that when they're ready. These events will be held at Pablo Towers, both meetings, open to all residents, whether they live at Pablo Towers or in the expanded area, period. One will be before March 1st, and the second one will be after the season begins to allow people to, if they just moved in, or to lots of flexibility with dates. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Chief. And a motion on item 1?
I make the motion to approve the second one-year extension of and the First Amendment to the Parking Services Agreement, RFP number 09-2122 with SP Plus Corporation.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Ms. Golding?
I have a question, and I apologize for not emailing this to the city manager earlier, but on page 2 of 3 of the second one-year extension of and First Amendment document, it has all the times and dates, and then there's a paragraph that says all paid parking locations, blah, 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 will not be utilized for paid parking during the following events and days, and then there's nothing there. And I don't know, is that because there's not any exceptions, or, I'm sorry, you're still looking for it? Okay. Page 2 of 3.
Maybe I can help on page 2. It refers back to original events about midway through, which is Grand Atlantic Festival, Spring of the Blues, and Oktoberfest. If we all have one in y'all's copy.
On this agreement that we're approving tonight, where are you saying that is?
Good evening, Ashley Bassett, CFO. In the original agreement, it calls out the events that the paid parking locations are not available, and the amendment is intended to call back to the original agreement of those 3 festivals.
So does it need to have that reference then, or something, because I
would defer to our attorney on that one.
So I'm reviewing this in the present as well. I see where you are on page 2 of 3. If anyone knows and can direct my attention to where in the 19-page document. Page 2 of 19. And now I'm hitting the wrong button. Pardon me. Yeah, so I believe the dot on page 2 of 3 indicates that there's other language in the original agreement which is not being altered by this.
Okay, so it's okay as is? Okay, thank you.
Seeing no additional questions, Madam Clerk, roll call.
Councilmember Golding,
Yes.
Councilmember Horn,
Yes.
Councilmember Jansen,
Yes.
Councilmember Sutton,
Yes.
Councilmember Wagner,
Yes.
Councilmember Wouters,
Yes.
Mayor Hoffman.
Yes, motion carries. Section 2.
For a motion? I move to delegate the authority to the city manager to approve and execute all subsequent extension options through the maximum contract term.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Mr. City Manager would like to speak?
Yes, just a quick comment for council, because I confirmed this with the CFO previous today. With regards to the delegation of authority for renewal, if there is a review of the performance for this agreement over the previous year, as we've done every fall, and there are amendments that the council would like to make, whether it's changing the areas, changing the rates, or any other changes, it would require a contractual amendment that would come back to this body. Only in the event that we are not changing anything with the agreement would the authority be delegated to me to renew it for one and final additional year. I would also note that in terms of the financials for this contract, they are pretty much established by the agreement. So there is nothing that's subjective to change from a year-to-year basis. It's carved in stone. So it would basically just be the authority to renew it as is for one additional year.
Thank you. Mr. Wagner?
Just to clarify, while the financial components are in stone, the overall impact of the financial component changes based on our decision to raise the rates or to expand the geography. So it is going to go up. It's a better contract for us and for the vendor, consistent with the decisions we made. So I'm not saying that there's anything there that's, outside of the decisions we made. The one thing that, and we chatted about this, or emailed about this a little earlier, is we don't know the total impact of that modeled out yet at this point in time, but there's also only one more year left on this agreement. So it would be safe to assume that all of that would be well understood at some point in time prior to the next re-up, right?
That's correct. The direction given to us by council earlier in the year was to expand the areas of paid parking, which are identified on the slide and in the memo, and also to increase the rates, both the daily rates and the maximum that it goes to, as well as the maximum for special events. It is anticipated that this will result in additional revenue for the city, but we have not yet gone through a full cycle of having this expanded area and expanded rates, and that's what we will review with you all in the fall at a briefing so that you can see what the impacts of making these changes look like.
Thank you. Seeing no other questions or comments, Madam Clerk, roll call.
Councilmember Horn,
Yes.
Councilmember Jansen,
Yes.
Councilmember Sutton,
Yes.
Councilmember Wagner,
Yes.
Councilmember Wouters,
Yes.
Councilmember Golding,
Yes.
Mayor Hoffman.
Yes, motion carries. Thank you, Chief. Be safe. Our next item is to appoint a new second alternate to fill the remainder of an unexpired term for the Community Redevelopment Agency. You'll remember that this was part of a big package of appointments that we did in December. Has everyone fully recovered from that? I think we made some really good appointments, so it was worth the energy. Madam Clerk, did you have a comment?
I just wanted to make sure that everybody got the email regarding Ken Marsh was driving his name.
Yes, thank you. So what we'll do now is open the floor for nominations, and we'll take the names of any nominees, and then we'll vote at the end. Again, this is a second alternate, so if we don't feel good about who we are looking at this time, we can. There's no urgency on my part. Is there urgency on your part? You have to say no. Madam Clerk, your light's on again? Okay. So Mr. Jansen was first on the light. Who is your nomination, Mr. Jansen?
I nominate Marcus Campy.
Ms. Golding has turned off her light. Are there any other nominations? Do I have to call for a vote if there's only one?
Still through motion.
Okay. Can someone make a motion to nominate Marcus Campy as the second alternate?
I move to appoint Marcus Campy to fill the remainder of the unexpired second alternate term on the Community Redevelopment Agency, CRA, with a term date expiring on December 31st, 2026.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Any comments? Ms. Golding.
In our meeting where we had the huge appointment, and we kind of struggled with this one, I'm glad we had the additional time because I took some time to look at the composition of our CRA now, and I appreciate Mr. Jansen nominating Mr. Camp. I don't know if that's how he pronounces it, but based on the current composition, I think he would be a nice addition to the CRA. So I'm very much in support of his nomination.
And I will also say he was one of the people that after the round of interviews did participate in the Citizen Information Academy. So I was glad to see him, and as well as a few others that we appointed taking part in that. Any other comments from council? Madam Clerk, roll call.
Councilmember Jansen,
Yes.
Councilmember Sutton,
Yes.
Councilmember Wagner,
Yes.
Councilmember Wouters,
Yes.
Councilmember Golding,
Yes.
Councilmember Horn,
Yes.
Mayor Hoffman.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Campy, for stepping up. I was gonna have those kids come up and introduce themselves. They really left right in time, didn't they? Someone took them up. Okay, moving on to C, we have Councilmember John Wagner is interested in attending the emo in later this week.
Yeah. 2 days.
Can we get a motion?
I make a motion to authorize City Council Member John Wagner to attend the Florida League of Cities Institute for Elected Municipal Officers 1 on January 24th and 25th, 2025 in Gainesville.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Any comments? Ms. Golding?
I would just say that you'll really get a lot out of this class. It's an excellent, excellent class.
Thank you. I'm really excited. I've heard that pretty consistently, so I really do appreciate that.
Madam Clerk, roll call.
Councilmember Sutton,
Yes.
Councilmember Wagner,
Yes.
Councilmember Wouters,
Yes.
Councilmember Golding,
Yes.
Councilmember Horn,
Yes.
Councilmember Jansen,
Yes.
Mayor Hoffman.
Yes, motion carries. And next up, Councilmember Dan Jansen is participating with the Florida League of Cities Federal Action Strike Team event in February and would like to attend on our behalf. Can I have a motion?
I make a motion to authorize Councilmember Dan Jansen, to attend the Florida League of Cities FLC Federal Action Strike Team FAST Flying Conference February 4th and 5th, 2025 in Washington, D.C.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Ms. Golding?
I was reading through the information and I know it said that you'll be meeting with our representatives. Are there any particular issues that you're going to be discussing with our representatives that you can share with us?
So they will be having a Zoom meeting on the 29th of January that will cover all the topics that they want to cover that affect us, Northeast Florida. Personally, when it comes to Jacksonville Beach, I know that I want to revisit the project on 13th Avenue South in front of Beaches Baptist Hospital. But I have not attended that, obviously. On the 29th, I can give you some more information as to what their agenda is covering.
Thank you, Mr. Jansen. Any additional questions? Madam Clerk, roll call.
Councilmember Wagner,
Yes.
Councilmember Wouters,
Yes.
Councilmember Golding,
Yes.
Councilmember Horn,
Yes.
Councilmember Jansen,
Yes.
Councilmember Sutton,
Yes.
Mayor Hoffman.
Yes, motion carries. Moving on to our resolution.
Mayor and Council, each year the Florida League of Cities adopts a legislative platform upon which those are considered to be the top priorities for them to lobby the legislature on an annual basis. These also become substantial talking points when you, the elected officials, are dealing with our representatives in Tallahassee. This is basically a resolution that would adopt the legislative platforms, and I would note that for the first time in a long time, I think we've had an elected official on each one of the policy committees that helps get to these priorities for discussion with Tallahassee. So with that, this would just basically memorialize the fact that we are adopting those as the policy positions going forward.
Madam Clerk, will you read the resolution by title, please?
A resolution of the City of Jacksonville Beach, Florida, urging members of the Florida Legislature to support the 2025 Florida League of Cities legislative platform, providing for adoption of recitals, repeal of inconsistent resolutions and council decisions, severability, scrivener's errors, and an effective date.
And a motion?
I make a motion to adopt resolution number 2187-2025, supporting the Florida League of Cities 2025 legislative platform.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Mr. Horn?
I just want to say, I'm glad to see this. As I've learned over the last 2 years and becoming more involved with Florida League of Cities and the aspects of this job that are outside of what we do here locally, that I've learned a lot last year about, and there are a lot of people that are not here, it was a small group here tonight, bad weather, anybody watching, there are a lot of things that happen at the state level that have a significant ripple effect in our local communities. And I'm starting to see how some things that happen are not necessarily being done for the altruistic purposes of serving the citizens. And I'm glad to see that the Florida League of Cities really does have that mentality of making sure that we have home rule, making sure that everything that's being done at the state level is being done that's going to benefit everybody. And it's not that you're going to pass a law that affects and benefits everybody in Jacksonville Beach, but everybody else in the state gets, gets the bad end of the deal. So again, I'm happy to see that we're supporting this, and I'm happy to see that all of the participation is going on with our council.
Very nice, thank you, Mr. Horn. Any other comments or questions? Mr. Wagner?
Just to kind of confer.
Just to kind of confer with you guys, give me a whole
Was that
nother
holiday
year.
backslide?
That's a whole nother year, dang it. To confer with Councilor Horn. I had the opportunity today to watch most of the 2-hour intergovernmental House subcommittee where they talked about the home rule. And what that really is what gives us the power to govern ourselves versus being governed by Tallahassee. And there were several members of that committee that were very proud to bring up the 800-foot screwdriver, or 800-mile screwdriver that they use to tighten us down. And so it really does, when you hear those type of things, it kind of does very, very much upset and bother you. And so I really am glad you put this on the agenda, and really do appreciate that, and I think it's very important.
Ms. Golden?
Just briefly, I've been coming to council meetings for many years, at least since 2002, and I do not recall us ever having the issues that we have been having the last several years from the state. And so I'm extremely glad that we have all the participation that we do with the Florida League of Cities, because we just have a lot more we have to deal with now, it seems like. So just want to, second what everyone else is saying, and we just have to stay vigilant. And I think that doing what we're doing too has helped to improve our relationship with our legislators, which has helped us out immensely, in particular with the vacation rental issue last year. So I think that this, the League of Cities is an amazing organization, and I'm glad we're part of it, and I'm glad that we have the participation that we do.
Thank you, Ms. Golding. Mr. Jansen?
To piggyback off what Ms. Golding said, it kind of lends credence to how important it is you pay attention to who you vote for at the state level, because we have two advocates for us on both the Senate and the representative side that believe in the home rule and that believe in bringing back the power of local municipalities into play. So Senator Yarborough and Rep. Michael, they both do a fantastic job. So remember that when you hit the voting booth.
And we also will have the legislative action days in Tallahassee coming up in March, and I assume that'll be on our next agenda to approve who's attending. Yes, I'm seeing nods. So, because registration has opened and we missed the Close Hotel last time, so it'd be good to get back on that. And thank you all who are planning to attend that. We need to vote. Madam Clerk, roll call.
Councilmember Wouters,
Yes.
Councilmember Golding,
Yes.
Councilmember Horn,
Yes.
Councilmember Jansen,
Yes.
Councilmember Sutton,
Yes.
Councilmember Wagner,
Yes.
Mayor Hoffman.
Yes, motion carries. Final item. Ms. Ireland, do you have any updates on this one?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Mayor. After the first reading of this ordinance, I did make just a very small amendment that gives us a little bit of discretion on processing an application that won't be impacted by the changes to the LDC. We want this to be as least impactful as we can. And so that really is the only change. And I'm happy to answer any questions you have.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, will you read the ordinance by title?
An ordinance of the City of Jacksonville Beach, Florida, pertaining to land use and zoning in Jacksonville Beach, enacting a temporary suspension of certain applications, prohibiting the processing of certain comprehensive plan text and map amendments, rezonings, variances, and special exceptions to to allow city staff time to review, study, and prepare final amendments to the City of Jacksonville Beach Land Development Code, and allow City Council time to adopt final amendments to the Land Development Code, providing for purpose and intent, severability, conflict, scrivener's errors, non-codification, and an effective date.
Thank you. This ordinance is before the council for a public hearing and consideration on its second reading. I will now open the public hearing on ordinance number 2024-8219. I do not have any speaker cards. Would anyone in the audience like to speak for or against the adoption of this ordinance? Seeing none, this public hearing is closed. May I have a motion?
I make a motion to adopt ordinance number 2024-8219 on the second reading for zoning in progress, suspension of certain activities.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Oh, sorry, Mr. Roberts?
Ms. Ireland, I haven't had a chance to review the changes. I was hoping to get a physical copy, but I understand that's problematic. Does the council still have any input on what the final changes will look like on the LDC?
Yes, absolutely. We don't have physical copies yet to go around. We can get them for everybody. Right now, it's just online. We posted a new version today with some small, just typos and small corrections like that. So use the link for now, and then I'll work with Kinley Warren to get a new, or a printed copy for everybody prior to the first council reading of the ordinance in February.
Thank you so much. I do appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Golding?
Heather, you said that you made some minor changes, but I didn't see anything that was like redlined or anything. Was the change made in this, what we're looking at that's in our packet?
Yes, ma'am. So on page 2, under section 3, just added some language that said if the application was going to be impacted by the changes, we may be able to move it forward and process it, but like I said, we want to be as least impactful. If there's a restaurant with outdoor seating that's just a transfer of ownership and there's no reason to hold it up, we want to move that forward. But if there's variances or things like that that are going to be impacted by the new code, we're going to need some more time to make, but we want to be able to be as flexible as possible. And that was a question that came up at the last meeting, so we wanted to try to correct that in here.
Okay, thank you for the clarification.
You're welcome.
Any other questions or comments? Madam Clerk, roll call.
Councilmember Golding,
Yes.
Councilmember Horn,
Yes.
Councilmember Jansen,
Yes.
Councilmember Sutton,
Yes.
Councilmember Wagner,
Yes.
Councilmember Wouters,
Yes.
Mayor Hoffman.
Yes, motion carries. Thank you all I feel like we had a robust comment period, but we still moved purposely through this agenda and hopefully will not get too rained on our way out. May I have a motion for adjournment?
Move to adjourn.
Second, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Yeah, stay. This meeting is adjourned. Be safe.